Everyone, welcome to the Never Stop Wrestling Podcast. I am here, Dom, however you want to refer to me. I am your host. I will be talking about what just happened a few days ago on Friday Night Smackdown. We had a action-packed Friday Night Smackdown, and we're going to dive into absolutely every single part of Friday Night Smackdown. What a show. What a show. Star-studded. I mean, we even had a segment with some of the biggest stars in one segment alone on Friday Night SmackDown. But we have to start out with John freaking Cena. I don't know John Cena's middle name. I would have just said it right there. John Cena, without a doubt, probably his greatest promo of all time. The Pipe Bomb Part 2. CM Punk, how do you like them apples? John Cena cut the pipe bomb in a different way than CM Punk, in my opinion. And when I said what I just said before, I genuinely think this was one of John Cena's greatest promos of all time. Up there with him and The Rock, up there with when he embarrassed Roman Reigns. When John Cena embarrassed Roman Reigns, I'm not going to lie, that promo was really, really good for John Cena. Obviously, Roman Reigns struggled. But now he's our tribal chief. John Cena and AJ Styles. John Cena has had so many amazing segments and promos. This pipe bomb that John Cena had was one of his best work on the mic, without a doubt. Going to his Thugonomic phase, all the way up until now. This was insane. John Cena name-dropping guys who were once in the company, who are now with AEW, TNA, just indie wrestling. That was crazy to hear. I was like, damn, I really sat up from my seat. I'm like, there's no way, like, this is really happening right now. John Cena's really going crazy. Where do we rank the... If we had to compare the pipe bombs between John Cena and CM Punk, which one was better? Which pipe bomb was better, John Cena or CM Punk? Because sadly, I didn't watch Punk's pipe bomb when it aired, when it happened. I was watching wrestling at the time, but I was very young. So, if I had school the next day, maybe I couldn't catch, the end of Monday Night Raw while I was growing up as a kid, because I had to go to bed early. But I was able to watch this whole John Cena segment and his pipe bomb. And obviously, everyone has seen CM Punk's pipe bomb. Absolutely phenomenal. But I don't know, dude. Punk's pipe bomb was directed towards the company. Like, talking about Vince, the entire McMahon family, how stupid they are, how it's going to go into the hands of, like, Stephanie or Shane, or Paul Levesque, Triple H in the future. So, Punk's pipe bomb compared to John Cena's pipe bomb was very different. Very different. Cena's obviously wasn't directed towards the company. He did bring up the company, though. He was telling CM Punk, because CM Punk is supposedly, I didn't know, very anti-TKO, like big corporate business, big corporate company. But let's be real here. John Cena was kind of spitting the facts. CM Punk is the definition of going all out for TKO, I feel like. I feel like the CM Punk that we've gotten in this run of his WWE career has been nothing short of amazing, but also not the CM Punk that we all know, that we knew when he dropped the pipe bomb back in, 2011, 2012? So, completely different CM Punk for good reasons, too. I think Punk changed maybe a lot of things backstage that we don't see, on social media and stuff like that. The way he works with people who work within the company. He probably developed a better relationship with bosses and everything like that. But we're seeing a very PG Punk. Very boy, does it great to feel alive and, name the city, tonight. Like, he does that every time he cuts a promo. Before he cuts the promo, he always says, boy, is it great to be alive in whatever city that we're in on a Monday night or whatever. Like, I love seeing Punk as a babyface, but at the same time, I feel like Punk is almost, I feel like I don't know if they're afraid to turn Punk heel right now in this WWE run, but I love Punk when he's a Punk. And I love how John Cena brought that up. Like, Punk, you're not a Punk anymore. You low-key gotta change the name, Punk. You're not a Punk. You're CM Blue Collar. CM Blue Corporate Collar Punk. No Punk, actually. Take out the Punk. You're CM Blue Collar. He's saying that he doesn't like the big corporate industry. And look, don't get me wrong. If I'm employed by a job and you got to do these specific things, hey, you got to be more PG. You got to, go to all these events. You got to do this. You got to do that. You want to keep your job, you got to do that. That's totally fine. Not saying that Punk should go against what his job is telling him to do. No, it's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're talking like that, if you're saying that, you don't like how big companies are ran, or I honestly don't know exactly what Punk said exactly about TKO, but I saw what other people were saying, kind of getting just a quick assumption of what everyone was saying. So I don't know the exact 100%. Oh, Punk said this directly. So this is just me kind of paraphrasing what other people have said, what they heard. So Punk, no, do your thing. But if you're talking that you don't like these big corporate industries and how they're ran and everything, then, well, you're kind of a part of one. So it's like, are you cool with doing it, but you're still going to talk bad about? I don't know. I like that John Cena brought it up, though, because it is definitely a controversial subject when it comes to CM Punk. And also with the whole Saudi Arabia thing, Punk never wants to compete in Saudi Arabia, but Punk is now set to go to Saudi Arabia. Punk has this belief where, Punk could have his opinion. That's perfectly fine. And I respect that. I totally respect that. Punk doesn't want to wrestle over in Saudi Arabia. Once again, I don't know the 100% reasoning as to why, but whatever reasoning it is, valid, completely valid. But now you're gonna face John Cena at Saudi Arabia, so it's like, Punk, you're kind of, you're talking this, you're talking the game, you're running your mouth, but then you're still following through with the stuff that you're complaining about. So John Cena bringing that up in the pipe bomb, I feel like that's actually more of a pipe bomb than Punk going on and talking about Vince McMahon, talking about Stephanie, talking about Triple H and how they're idiots and how they're going to ruin the company. When now with hindsight, we see CM Punk come back to the company when Paul Levesque, Triple H, is running the company after CM Punk in his pipe bomb said that the company's going to basically turn the garbage when Triple H is handed the company because he is the son-in-law to Vince McMahon. So, Punk's looking like a big hypocrite with what John Cena said in his pipe bomb. And I love it because, honestly, even when Seth Rollins and CM Punk were battling with each other, having their amazing feud, and I still think they're going to have multiple matches and multiple feuds in the future for as long as Seth Rollins is still wrestling and for as long as CM Punk is still wrestling. But Seth Rollins, whenever he spoke about Punk, he was telling the truth. And yeah, no, I love CM Punk too. And the fans, obviously, CM Punk is one of the most unanimously liked superstars of all time, in my opinion. And rightfully so. You gotta respect Punk and for everything that he's done in just pro wrestling in general. But everything that he said about Punk, not respecting the company after he left, for, his personal way of him being fired and all that, which was messed up, how Vince fired him on his wedding day, and I think Vince knew about that too. That's messed up. but trying to burn down the company because you got fired is bad. I mean, especially if you have friends that still work in the company too. Like you're trying to, and WWE at the time was the main, and it still is. It was the main, wrestling company. There was no AEW. TNA was obviously a thing. TNA was popping during the early 2010s, I feel like, but WWE even right now is the main, the monster within pro wrestling companies, and will be. So if Punk's trying to tear down WWE, give it a bad rep, these superstars that are in the company, they don't have another outlet to go to, like a AEW or, I'm not too big into outside of WWE, AEW, TNA. I'm sure there's so many other wrestling promotions that I don't know about. So I'm not going to talk ignorant and, just act like I know all the other wrestling promotions when I don't, because I don't. But during that time, there weren't too many options for these superstars to go after WWE. So, like, Punk's trying to tear down the company, give it a bad rep, saying how horrible, it was ran, Vince is horrible, and obviously Vince has done his things, obviously. But, like, now Punk is back. When I know Triple H is involved now, but he still mentioned that Triple H was going to make it garbage. And obviously, people settle their differences and they make amends. Obviously, people change, which is completely normal. But every feud, Punk has been the babyface, but Punk is really the hypocrite in every single feud. I feel like every superstar that Punk has feuded with in this new WWE run, in his return run, has been almost exposing Punk for being a hypocrite. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, as much as CM Punk was the babyface, Drew McIntyre made every valid point to give a reason why Punk can be hated, as well as Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, every single promo segment, Seth Rollins would call out CM Punk, and he was right. But people like CM Punk so much, so they kind of get blindsided by that. It's almost like when you're in a relationship and you like someone so much, but they're toxic. So you kind of, are so blindsided to toxic traits or traits that you might not like about someone that you like, which is completely normal. Like to not like absolutely everything that someone does. But being blindsided and not acknowledging it is bad. Is bad, in my opinion. And then now we're seeing with John Cena calling out CM Punk, naming like quite a few things of why CM Punk is kind of selling out himself. He's not even Punk anymore. This is not a Punk. He's not a rebel. He's not someone who's the voice of the voiceless. CM Punk is just like the rest of the guys. So Punk's not different anymore. And I think John Cena in this pipe bomb, we're going to remember this pipe bomb, we're going to remember this pipe bomb because John Cena really, really exposed CM Punk, I think, with the whole gist of everything that John Cena said. That's what I got out of it. But I loved it. I thought it was great. Obviously, I'm talking in character-wise, obviously. All these guys are awesome. But I love that they're bringing in personal stuff. Always is great for WWE. Always has been. I think we could go through all the past feuds and storylines, and we can all agree that when we involve some type of personal information or personal events that's happened to a superstar and we bring it into, TV, I think we can all agree that it is best for business. So I think this pipe bomb did great. The Saudi Arabia match might happen due to everything that's going on in the world right now. But regardless, when we do see John Cena and CM Punk lace it up for what I believe the very last time, this match is going to be extraordinary, and I cannot wait, especially after seeing this pipe bomb. And I think CM Punk's going to get his lick back on John Cena with a promo as well. I cannot wait to see this match. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I was so glad to see LA Knight standing tall. Yeah, LA Knight, let's go. The movement's working. We want LA. It's working. It's freaking working. Standing tall against the new faction, Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, woof woof, and even Paul Heyman. I mean, they were going. They had a little promo segment, and I gotta say, LA Knight is phenomenal on the mic, dude. He is so good. I love this era of LA Knight prior to when he was the biggest superstar in the company for those few month stints. I don't know why. There's something about this LA Knight run in 2025 that I just absolutely love. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It is so good. It's something about in ring wise, he looks more confident. He's always been phenomenal on promos, but there's something about the way he's delivering these new promos in 2025 that I'm like, holy damn. I don't know if it's just me. I'm a fan of LA Knight. I can't say I'm a mega fan, like the mega star, like some other people that I've seen. Shout out to LA Knight Girl. But I respect LA Knight because he's the definition of like what Jey Uso went through. And I hope we get to see LA Knight get that same treatment that Jey Uso got, where he's becoming undeniable, dude. He's undeniably over with the crowd. It's to where the point they're not pushing him to the way that we view him as, and we still cheer him on like he's the most pushed guy in the entire company. That says a lot about a superstar. That says a whole lot. And this segment was great, despite LA Knight getting squashed at the end of the night from Bronson Reed as he delivered like 3 tsunamis to LA Knight. That was a nah-nah. That was a nah-nah. But I think in the end, I think LA Knight's going to stand tall, and hopefully we do see LA Knight get a title shot very soon. Even he's had the U.S. title twice already. Him being a 3-time U.S. title holder in the amount of like a year or a little over a year seems a little weird. So I feel like the WWE Championship is definitely not in his cards, but maybe with the draft coming up, we could see LA Knight go to the brand that has the World Heavyweight Championship, and I could definitely see the megastar winning the World Heavyweight Championship against whoever. Yeah. For the other superstar, whoever's the champion at the time, whoever's the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, nah. You're not holding that for much longer because the megastar is taking that title. LA Knight's time is up next. Yeah, John Cena's time. Yeah, you know, it's your time for now, but it's running out of time when it comes to December. And I got LA Knight stepping up to the plate when it comes to the beginning or the end. When it becomes the end of this year and the start of next year, it's LA Knight's time. It's coming up. Yeah. We got Asuka moving on to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. I'm so happy for Asuka. It's so good to see her back. It's so good that she's getting, honestly, like, I wish she never got hurt in general, obviously. What a perfect timing for her recovery to return. It's a perfect opportunity for her to get pushed. She could potentially win the Queen of the Ring and have a match at the first ever 2-night SummerSlam and maybe be crowned champion at SummerSlam. Is that what I think's going to happen? I'm sorry, Asuka. No. And I'll tell you why. I said this in the other podcast episode. The winner of the Queen of the Ring tournament and our next women's champion is going to be the freaking Storm. There's a Storm coming. And her name is Jade Cargill. She's winning the Queen of the Ring. She's going to SummerSlam. She's going to defeat Tiffany Stratton. Jade Cargill will be your next women's champion. No question. I would put money on it. Without a doubt. There's nothing steering me any other direction that I don't see Jade Cargill as our next women's champion. it's about time they book her to be the single star that she is. You look at Jade Cargill, you see someone chiseled out of granite, out of stone, made out of freaking diamonds. Insane. Jade Cargill has the look. She has the presence. The presentation of Jade Cargill is phenomenal. In ring, she's honestly improving a ton when it comes to talking, cutting promos, backstage segments. That's something that I was like, you know what, Jade's great. Want to see more promos from her. Want to hear her sound like she could be a babyface, but I want her to sound like she is a threat in the women's division. And I think they're doing a great job with that. And Jade's doing a great job with that. Jade Cargill is easily 100%, I'm calling this right now, our next women's champion. But I think Naomi cashes in at SummerSlam, gets her revenge on Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton all in one night. We saw it on SmackDown. She teased the cash in, and the pop that she got was crazy. The fact that she's supposed to be the biggest heel in the women's division, and she's getting a massive babyface pop, is insane, and I love it. Naomi's doing a phenomenal job as a heel. It's probably the greatest move that has happened in her career. Not saying that she wasn't a good babyface. Being a heel really showcases how freaking awesome you are in the business. And obviously, who am I to say that? I've never been a wrestler. But as a lifelong fan, you pick up things on this. Like, when someone becomes a heel, it really tests the superstar to try out new things. And Naomi has perfected being a heel. There's no question. Naomi. Proceed with caution. I believe her when she says that. And I think it's so good. The other women in the division are doing a great job of looking like they believe her when she says that. Especially with her as the Money in the Bank holder. There's no way that Naomi loses her cash in. There's no shot. And if she did lose it, I would be very mad. But anything can happen, obviously. That's my take, though, on the Queen of the Ring tournament. I think Naomi at the end of the day will be the women's champion because she'll cash in after Jade Cargill wins. But no question, right now, as we're about to see who's going to qualify for the finals between Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez, Jade Cargill is our next women's champion. Move on to the next one. The storm's coming on in. It's coming in hot. And it's not stopping. Jade Cargill is our next women's champion. And we got a little bit of a tease. I'm really excited to see this. I hope they do follow through with this. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as a tag team. Dude, especially with the news that they're not going to relinquish the tag team titles in general. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as a tag team? That would be awesome. I don't know why people aren't super excited about this. To see star-studded women's tag teams, because we've seen it with the men in the past. The Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, Kane and Undertaker, Batista, Rey Mysterio. I could go on and on. It's about time we look back at the women's tag team division and we say names like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. These are, obviously Jade Cargill is new in the WWE, but she has potential to be a future Hall of Famer. But I think we can honestly say that Bianca Belair is a future Hall of Famer, Alexa Bliss as well, and obviously Charlotte Flair. So it's about time that we start creating these believable, it's about time we start creating tag teams with stars in the women's division, but they have to make sense. Charlotte and Alexa, they've been doing this, teasing this for like a month and a half, 2 months. I love it. I'm glad that it looks like they're going to pull the trigger on it too. To see The Queen, Charlotte Flair, and Miss Bliss? I'm taking that. That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to watch that. For the Queen to add another thing to her resume and to see Miss Bliss be a tag team champion again, I'm happy. Tag team division for the women, watch out. You got the Queen and Miss Bliss. They're coming for you. And what a segment with Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. I got to say this, though, before I move on about the segment, and mainly about the match that happened right after between Randy Orton and Sami Zayn. Cody Rhodes, did you forget how to speak? This is two major segments, I feel like, where Cody Rhodes isn't speaking. Cody Rhodes came out, he did his entrance, he did the whoa thing, which is cool. I'm glad. I love it when he does that. Cody Rhodes didn't even talk, and then Jey Uso came down, he yeeted for 8 separate times, which, that's a lot of time on the TV. I know SmackDown is a long show, it's 3 hours, but yeeting for 8 separate times? Bro, Cody Rhodes didn't even talk! Why is Cody Rhodes looking like an NPC out here? It's crazy. They did this with Cody Rhodes went right before Money in the Bank, where it was John Cena, Logan Paul absolutely destroying Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. They had Cody and Jey not say anything to them to defend themselves. Cody Rhodes is the face of our company. Could you imagine Roman Reigns is in the ring and they don't let Roman Reigns say a word and they let him get interrupted by 3 other superstars? No, you wouldn't see that. I don't like that at all. And obviously that's just my opinion. I could be overreacting, but Cody Rhodes should honestly whoop Jey Uso's ass tonight. Straight up. Cody Rhodes needs to win this King of the Ring tournament. Cody Rhodes needs to get back his WWE Championship, because I'm tired of seeing this Cody Rhodes where he doesn't look like himself. Not talking. Cody Rhodes is the king of talking. Let's be real here. Come on. Having Jey Uso interrupt him and, he's dabbing him up like they're boys. Like, dude, let Cody Rhodes talk. Come on. Sorry. Cody Rhodes, you got a mic in your hand. Say a few words. Say, what do you want to talk about? And then that's it. God. Come on, Cody. But Randy Orton and Sami Zayn, they had their match right after. Randy Orton is moving on, which is making me believe. I'm recording this on Monday afternoon. Monday Night Raw is obviously later on today. I believe Cody and Randy is going to be the King of the Ring finals matchup. This will be a matchup that we've been wanting to see ever since Cody Rhodes has returned to the WWE. This is a very, very highly anticipated matchup between Cody and Randy. Some may have wanted to see this for the WWE Championship, not necessarily to compete for a number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. Cody versus Randy is going to be great. It's going to be held at Night of Champions, which is going to be great, and whoever wins that is moving on to SummerSlam. I made my prediction in last week's episode of the podcast. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win it all. I think he's going to face John Cena at SummerSlam. Who knows? At SummerSlam, we could see 2 cash-ins, bro. We could see Naomi cash in to what I believe Jade Cargill winning the Women's Championship. And we could also see Seth Rollins cashing in on Cody Rhodes after Cody dethrones John Cena. Because we slowly saw a little bit in John Cena's pipe bomb promo. He was kind of like tweening a little bit. He wasn't completely heel. He was obviously majority heel. But I feel like he was kind of connecting with the crowd a little bit, which is something that he hasn't done at all ever since he turned heel. He wouldn't even give the crowd any type of credit. He actually gave the crowd credit. He's like, I know you guys are really stupid, but I know you could see the lies. As in, talking about CM Punk. So, I don't know. Do we get Cody as a heel if he wins? Do we get that? That would be crazy. I do think at SummerSlam, John Cena is being dethroned. I genuinely believe that. Whether it's from a cash-in or it's from Cody Rhodes beating him, and then Seth Rollins comes in and cashes in on Cody Rhodes. That's my prediction, though. Because I think it's going to hit the point once we're at the end of the summer where John Cena, him as a heel, what really else do you do? Like, how much more can you keep this entertaining? And do we really want to have John Cena only be a babyface for a month and then he retires? I think we give John Cena the chase. Or I don't know, because he has the championship. I really don't know. John Cena's farewell tour has got to be the most complicated WWE booking I've ever seen. He has a set date where he's retiring. We already know where it's going to be located. We already know the date. He already knows that after that match, he's never competing in the ring ever again. He's a heel when you can't really retire John Cena as a heel. When do you turn him babyface? There are so many other guys that haven't competed against John Cena yet. Who do you have John Cena's final match be? How many times do you have John Cena face the same guy again on his farewell tour? Like, I think we're going to see Cody Rhodes face John Cena again, obviously. At least my prediction. John Cena's farewell tour has John Cena's farewell tour has got to be the most difficult booking decision I've ever seen in WWE history. Like, with all the things that I just named, like, where do you go about it? I honestly have no clue what they're going to do next. It seems like every time they have John Cena's next opponent, I'm kind of surprised. Obviously, there are a few guys where I'm like, all right, CM Punk has to be a part of the farewell tour, and like Randy Orton. And Cody was kind of, it was just confirmed with John winning the Elimination Chamber. But like, after CM Punk, are we going to see a new opponent? Or are we just going to see Cody Rhodes again? Do we get Drew McIntyre? Do we get Roman Reigns? Do we get Seth Rollins? Like, there are so many things, and we're running out of time. That's the thing. There's an actual time limit to this. There's a set dates where John Cena is only set for these dates. John Cena's farewell tour is absolutely difficult. And that's why I think in the very beginning it was very lackluster. But it's definitely picking up now with it, especially with this pipe bomb that he hit. They're finally we need to see more of this with John. Being more of himself, but also he's staying in character. He's being a heel. I forget where I was where I was going with the Randy and Cody thing. Yeah, basically, I got Cody winning it all. I got Cody winning the King of the Ring. I got Cody moving on to SummerSlam to face John Cena for the WWE Championship. I got Cody Rhodes beating John Cena. Maybe that's where we see John Cena turn into a babyface. Or does Cody Rhodes turn heel maybe? If John Cena gets a redemption match, his rematch clause, and then Cody Rhodes, it's the passing the torch moment, but like, Cena's now the babyface. Cody's the heel. I don't know, man. John Cena's farewell tour is the most... I don't know how to book it. I don't know. And, like, I've been disappointed with some of the decisions with what they've done with John Cena's farewell tour. But at the same time, I don't know what I would do. I think I have some ideas, but I don't know if they would necessarily be good. So, I don't know. Definitely one of the most harder things that WWE has had to face with when it comes to involving active superstars and then also focusing on the guy who's retiring in less than a year. So, definitely hard to manage. 100%. I got to give WWE credit for that. Doesn't mean that it allows, excuses for lackluster booking and stuff like that, but definitely something very difficult to book. 100%. I can't even imagine that in the writer's room. Saying like, oh, what's going to be good for this? John's not on that date, so we can't do a segment on. Just so complicated. So complicated. those were all pretty much all of the important things on Friday Night Smackdown. I'm glad that I was able to get this out, rather than later into the week. I definitely wanted to talk about SmackDown because it was a great show. It was an absolutely great show, and a lot of important things. The next PLE we might not be getting. It might be postponed. They're saying it might be relocated because of everything that's going on in the world, but I don't know. This might just be, if this is just a PLE where we just don't get it and like we don't even get to actually have these matches that are set, like the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring matches aren't going to happen at Night of Champions because the PLE isn't happening. This could be one of the most difficult decisions in WWE history as well, where if Night of Champions gets postponed, all these matches that are set for Night of Champions, this is huge. Like, what do they do? What do they do? Like, all the people that booked flights for Saudi, all these people that booked hotels, that bought tickets for the event in Saudi, what's gonna happen? It's only 2 weeks away. This could definitely go down in something that we look back in WWE history, where it's one of the most unfortunate events in WWE history as well. When was the last time we seen like a real life in world like crisis going on to where it's affecting the health and safety of the superstars going to a location where like they could get hurt if they go over there potentially. Like, I don't even think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all. Don't put the superstars in any type of risk. If there's a risk at all, don't do it at all. Don't. I don't want to see anyone get hurt because of a show. Guys, we can wait. We can wait. Don't be selfish and put the superstars in danger. We can wait. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. I don't think that's just my opinion. I think that's just a fact. Don't put anyone in danger at all. I'm worried. We're gonna keep a lookout and to see what they're gonna do with the decision of Night of Champions, if they're gonna follow through with it. I don't think they should. Stay away. Better safe than sorry. But I think for sure, if it does get postponed, which I hope it does, honestly, if Night of Champions gets postponed, it could be one of the most controversial and weirdest things that we've seen in recent WWE history, especially with like John Cena's farewell tour being involved with it too, and leading up to one of the biggest SummerSlams of all time. Like, we're going to look back at this, especially if it gets postponed. But I hope it does get postponed because I don't want to see any superstar in danger for their life. Like, that's serious, dude. That's serious. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I'm glad that I was able to get this out before Monday Night Raw. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening or watching on YouTube. This was a little bit of a longer episode, but I want the pipe bomb. I definitely wanted to dive into a lot, as well as the King and Queen of the Ring potential winners, and also what the winners might do at SummerSlam, whether they win or lose or a cash-in happens. So I'm glad we had a nice little talk on the podcast about potential opportunities that can happen for superstars in the future. So yeah, I feel like it was a great episode overall. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And Monday Night Raw's tonight. There will be a podcast episode uploaded tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you in the next episode.